Celtics star Jayson Tatum suffered a torn right Achilles tendon during Monday night's playoff loss to the Knicks. Tatum has already undergone surgery, and an exact timetable for his return not immediately clear. He's expected to make a full recovery. We love to see and hear that, but he could be out for a while here, Tass. An Achilles tear typically comes with a recovery timeline of 8 to 12 months. So we may not see Tatum at all next season. I know it maybe depends on how the Celtics season goes, but it's very possible we don't see him at all next year.
Absolutely. Modern medicine is a wonderful thing, though. He could come back. We're talking about 8 months from now. I mean, that's not too far. It's in the middle of the regular season, towards the back end of the regular season. So he could come support this very good team. You're just going to ask more of Jaylen Brown and more of Derek White, primarily. Kristaps Porzingis is still there. Kenny's to have a great year. But there's still lots of good players on this team. So
you don't think the Celtics are taking a quote-unquote gap year next year?
Not with what they're paying right now. That they don't have an option, really.
No, that would be the option, would be trading those guys.
Yeah.
Derek White or Kristaps Porzingis or Drew Holiday. I mean, I think any of those three is kind of on the table right now just because there's not a way for them to compete for the championship next year. They've already got a wicked high payroll with a new owner coming in. They were going to have cost-cutting moves most likely this summer, depending on how the season went. They could have traded Porzingis after winning back-to-back titles, realistically, depending on how the new ownership is feeling. Like the most extreme move would be to trade Jaylen Brown, tank the season, gear up for Tatum's return in 26-27. I don't think they'll do that. More likely is like maybe Al Horford retires. You look at sending Drew Holiday's 3 more years somewhere else because that's a guy that can help teams win championships. They would have to think the Porzingis piece, the Derek White piece. Like I think those guys are potentially available as well. The Celtics are obviously a lot more accomplished. They've gone farther. They won a championship. Tatum has done more, but it's not dissimilar to the Bulls when Derrick Rose tore his ACL, where you're like, oh, we've got a championship contender here. They look like they're set up for a little bit. Uh-oh, we lost our number one guy. Now our team isn't a championship contender. How do we scramble around that? I do think the Celtics team's going to look different at the start of next season.
I'd argue they are a championship contender. I know it doesn't seem like that, but you can end up with those guys that we just mentioned and be a 4 seed, a 5 seed. You can still have a championship pedigree going into the playoffs. You need Tatum, obviously, to win. And we're talking 8 to 12 months. Like, he could be back in February. He could be back in March. No, he's not going to look the same, and that's unfortunate. But I do think all these guys that were saying, oh, Derek White, he could be a number 2 guy on the team. So him and Jaylen Brown got to work it. Yeah. Does this new ownership say, we just bought a team, but we got to rebuild this thing? I think they'll try and hold on to guys. Like Porzingis has only got 1 year left. You give it a whirl one more time and see what happens. The questionable one is Drew Holiday. He didn't look like...
He's 34. He's starting to decline. He has a lot of years and money left. And you have guys, if you're the Celtics, that you feel probably confident in replacing him in his minutes. In
Pritchard,
obviously, White and Pritchard, the two of them together more than makes up for it. So that one to me, but I don't know what you're looking at in return for him. Like Trey's right. Like the big move is like, wow, it is trading Jaylen Brown for pieces and obviously good players and maybe even picks that will help you sort of manage your books as you go on here and get very expensive because this is a second apron team. And you just take the down year and then Tatum hopefully comes back and is back to like nearly 100% as close as he can get in his prime, right? And then you sort of like start it over again. But that is drastic and he is a really good player and maybe he'll be even more elite. Without obviously Tatum there, but it's probably these other moves that it's the Drews, it's the Porzingis. Like you say Porzingis, but the guy can't stay healthy either. No, so it's becoming like it's sort of Garland-like. It's like, yeah, they're great players, they're really good, but they're never there when we need them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, he's I'm referring to him or I'm pointing him out because he only has 1 year left on a contract. It's not like he's got this monstrous contract for five more years. What are you getting for Porzingis now? Probably not a lot. $30 million coming off the books. Plus all that luxury tax that you pay for it could be the recipe here. It could be the move. Unless somebody wants to take a chance on Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, they need a big, is what, after evaluating this whole roster, they need somebody to replace not only Porzingis, but Al Horford as he gets old. Who is playing center for this team in a couple of years?
I think Cornette's even a free agent, right?
He is, yeah.
So their big rotation could look quite different.
Yeah.
crazy how many notable injuries we've had just this postseason alone, with now the Tatum injury here, the torn Achilles, Damian Lillard with the blood clots and the torn Achilles, Curry with the hamstring strain. That's obviously had a huge impact on what's going on out west. I guess even Garland, all the Cavs guys that we've already talked about. Jimmy Butler did have a pelvic contusion. He did miss a game here in the postseason. Ja Morant, hip contusion. I mean, just I can keep going, unfortunately.
Kawhi Leonard played 7 of 7 games.
He did. But, it's a lot of times. We see it time and time again. It's like, and I'm not saying it's like, who's the healthiest team wins, because, like, look at last year. I mean, the Celtics weren't fully healthy. They were missing a key piece, but their star players for the most part were. And it plays a part in almost every championship, it feels like, or it can, in terms of just staying healthy and keeping your core good through the postseason, which is not short. It's like 2 months long after a grueling regular season. But some of these are flukes, and some of these are just like, I mean, even the Tatum one, when you think about it, it's like he was lunging for the ball.
He's
done it a million times. Yep. So what happened on this millionth time? Well, he's played a lot of games. I guess people say that. Has anyone played more than him since he came into the league? I don't think so, in terms of regular season and playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, it's just bad luck.
Just bad luck.
Yeah.
Drew Smith tore his Achilles this year. He's played like 8 games. It just happens.
Yeah. Drew Smith, I'd forgotten about him. That was one I had.
Happens to young guys too.
I guess Michael Porter Jr. too is playing through a shoulder sprain. It's all bandaged up. So that is the playoffs, and that's postseason. Anything else on this, on the Celtics, on Tatum, what it means for the rest of the league? I mean, you've talked a little bit of like, wow, what an opening here, even more in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're Giannis, or you're like, I'd like to stay on an Eastern Conference team. Maybe. I mean, he plays for one. So that's a chance. I also don't necessarily think the Celtics are buried against the Knicks. They're still in a playoff series right now.
They are. They
are down 3-1.
Yeah.
They ain't looking good. They're going to MSG. But this is the perfect time to overlook a team when they're missing a guy after an injury. I heard Windhorst said, or maybe it was Bontemps said, that the Celtics were so down after losing Jayson Tatum, losing the game, obviously. They're on the verge of elimination without their best player. That's an easy one to overlook if you're the New York Knicks. You know, they had their huge Game 3 that they turtled away as well. So we'll see how they play tonight.
You're right. You know, if you get it tonight because you sort of catch the Knicks sleeping, then suddenly you're back at Madison Square Garden, and it's like then the pressure almost starts to turn to them because it's like you got to close it out here. You don't want to go Game 7 in Boston. Yeah, you're right. It's not over. I just feel the way the Knicks are playing to how the Celtics are playing.
Yeah.
Like I like their chances to win 1 of 3 games, I guess.
It's advantage Knicks, absolutely. I'm talking about like in a 1-game scenario, as in, are they going to lose tonight? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe Jaylen Brown goes for 40 points and the Celtics hit 25 threes. That's still a reasonable thing to happen. Though Tatum is like their number 1 generator of 3-pointers. So we'll have to see how the playmaking is for guys like Drew Holiday and Derek White. Derek White's kind of been the beneficiary of a lot of these swing passes. He's got to be the guy that starts the swinging as well.
Yep.